Chris from MyMMAnews.com, being joined by Ben Coyle ahead of his second pro fight, and he's taking on Komodo Joe Tran at CFFC 99 going down in Mississippi. This will be your second time fighting away from home in Mississippi, right? So first, foremost, Ben, how's it going, brother?
Hanging in there, bro. How you doing?
So you're coming off of a loss to the CFFC champion right now, the 25 champion, Pumi.
Yep.
Great fight no matter however you want to cut it. It was amazing. It definitely tested you more than we've seen you be tested before. So before we get into the fight with Komodo Joe, I want to talk about that fight. Considering it was your pro fight, a lot of pressure under you. And again, when you lost to Pumi, he went on to gain the champion. So you didn't lose to some tomato can. There has to be silver lining. Taking that loss, what did you learn from it?
What I took away from that fight, obviously, was I needed to work more on my wrestling. We knew we were taking a hard fight with Pumi. We knew what we were doing right off the bat. Like he had said, nobody really wanted to fight him. I was looking to take his name from him. You know, it would have boosted me highly. So I took a fight maybe for my first fight outside the waters, but I guess not really, because I competed well. I didn't show up. He was the better man that night, but hey, it was a good learning lesson for me, man. I've been hungry as shit since then. Kind of reignited that fire a little bit, that dog. So it's been good, but yeah, man, he's a better man that night.
Either way, you made some huge adjustments with that. So with you're changing where you're training now. Now you're at John Marquez, Daniel Gracie, EFC,
Yep.
up in Philly. So you've been there for quite some time since you took that loss, and now I want to ask, man, everything that's gone into that. Some of the killers that you train with on a daily basis now, it's not discrediting what you were before, but now you have some people that are your size. You have the Bobies. You have so much more people that can mimic the kind of styles that you're going to be seeing, the looks you're going to be seeing. What I question is Marquez and Daniel Gracie MMA, what have they done for your game to improve you to that next step where you feel you're ready to go now, man?
Leaps and bounds in my game has changed, man. As far as constantly grappling and constantly having a strict curriculum where it's 2 times a day, almost every day, as long as you can make it. You know what I mean? So the guys up there, the skill level is ridiculous, and then the coaching level is phenomenal. John puts a lot of time into us, man, and so does Daniel. They work real hard with us, man, and just the guys that have the time up there to devote too. It's not so like. Everybody seems to really mold their schedule. You can tell everybody really wants to make it up there. Everybody's really trying hard, so it's never a shortage of partners that are trying to do something. So it's great, man. My game's improved hugely. I can't wait to show off what I've been working on in the cage. It's been almost a year now, so it's eaten me up a little bit. I can't wait to fight. I'm excited.
Which makes me curious. I know you outside of the cage as well as inside of the cage. I know the kind of fighter you are, and I know your personality a little bit outside of the cage. You've taken this time off. I know it's been bugging you. I know you've been itching to get back in the cage. So just if you can explain to the audience, what has this time off done for you? One, to get your gears grinding back to get back in the fight mode, and two, how's it been a struggle?
Fear of missing out will definitely get you moving, man. It's watching my cousin James do as well as he has. That'll help ignite it. Being at the fights, being in the atmosphere, and also just constantly training like a dog every day, and getting down and sparring and having hard sparring rounds of dogs. It just amps you back up to fight, man. It just So I've been itching, but it's been bugging me. It starts, like I said, you get FOMO, you get fear of missing out, and it's definitely been playing on my mind a little bit. So I'm excited to get back in there, that's for sure.
So Komodo Joe Tran, what do you know about him? Obviously, as I tell everybody, we're in the age of social media and the internet on the tip of your hand. So you can look up a lot of these guys, what they do, their social media. So from your perspective and knowing your fight IQ, what do you know about Komodo Joe Tran?
He's got the same record as me. He hasn't gone pro yet. He's got a 6-2 record though. My amateur record is 6-1, and then I have my pro loss. So, but he's got the same record as me, man. He comes forward a lot. He's very, I wouldn't say technically sound, but he's scrappy for sure. He drives forward. He does unorthodox, kind of sloppier things that kind of push into the clinch and the battles that he wants on the fence leading into the takedown. But his wrestling and his his stand-up don't really back up the ground game that he has. And he has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, thinking about that, obviously, always keep it in the back of my mind. Definitely looking at him as a tough fight for sure. He's going to be there to fight, but it's nothing I'm not willing to handle or haven't handled. So I'll run right through him.
And speaking of it's nothing you haven't handled or something you haven't seen before, very similar on paper to somebody you fought in your amateur career, Ramon Neyra, brown belt on the ground, and he came forward, which really played into your caliber. And obviously, two different people, two different fighters. But when you were just commenting and saying that this guy Joe Tran comes forward, similar, that plays into your game plan. You love when somebody is ready to get in your face and scrap because very similar to your style. So, are you seeing this bout as more of a stand-up scrap, or do you think once he gets tagged, that brown belt is going to come into play?
So I think you're really correct when you say he's like Ramon. Like we've looked at him and we keep thinking the same thing. Everything we watch, we think he's like that past fight, which is my last amateur fight. But Ramon was a high level purple belt. He wasn't a brown belt. The kid before him was a brown belt.
Right.
And I almost ripped his neck off. So, but either way, man, I think that he for sure he's gonna come forward. He's gonna stand a little bit. I think he's going to shoot either way. Whether he gets cracked or not, he's going to get cracked. But I think he's going to shoot either way. And I like people that come forward. I don't mind people that shoot. I know his game plan, man, and mine's always the same either way. It doesn't really alter too much. Keep it on the feet, beat you up. If you want to take it to the ground, it's fine with me. I don't give a fuck. So I'm excited for the fight, though, man. For that, really, everything I've watched, I think it's gonna be a good fight.
And you previously mentioned your cousin James, and knowing you guys from amateur on to professional level, and seeing you guys perform on a lot of the same cards, seeing you guys evolve together, and now you guys are back on the same card. What does that do for you mentally? Just because knowing the both of you and seeing you guys grow up together and seeing you guys thrive together, one, only in the gym, and then two, as friends, really. It has to be that extra sense of motivation. And I asked him the same thing in the interview, and he essentially said, you guys grew, thrived, did a lot of the same stuff together. So my question is, now that you guys are back traveling together to Mississippi, but still on the same card and doing it together, what does it mean?
It gives me a certain amount of energy, man. It's always nice being on the card with him because it's comfortable grounds. We train together for the fight. It's all the same vibe going in it. We bounce shit off each other. We're dieting this. It's all this, and it's what we've done most of our amateur career, and so it's just nice to be back training with him too, man. Have some normality in my life, and just constantly learning and pushing with him. But being able to go and do, we traveled to Virginia, but that was a car ride. We're hopping on a plane this time. It's new grounds for us, so it's nice to hop on with a new team for me. And it's nice to hop on a plane and go there and get into a fight, walk into another man's backyard, beat him up in front of his people, take everything he has, man.
So obviously you have your game plan, which is very similar to a lot of your same game plans in the past. Take him down, beat him up, stand up, beat him up, whatever it is. So for Komodo Joe Tran, what's your prediction for this fight?
Like I said, man, we're going to be moving around. I think my footwork's going to eat him up. From what I've watched, he comes forward a lot. He keeps his chin high. We'll see what improvements he's made. I expect him to have made some improvements for sure. Everybody does usually, but we'll see. And but I expect it to be a stand-up war, man. I'm going to keep it on the feet, and if he wants to go to the ground, I'm going to beat him up on the ground too. His jiu-jitsu is very gi style, old school Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's not like a heavy MMA finisher style jiu-jitsu. I think he'll be good at controlling on the ground, but it's not going to be a super dangerous type of jiu-jitsu. I'm not super worried about it from what I've watched. Everybody's dangerous, obviously, and I have to take that into consideration. But I think he's going to get beat the fuck up, man. I know he's going to get beat the fuck up.
And going on that, and not looking past him, but looking forward. What's your plan going forward? Because pending a win in this fight, that puts you at 1-1. I know you want to stay more active than what you have been, because you don't like taking breaks. So what are you looking for the rest of 2021 going into 2022 for CFFC?
Well, hopefully I get on another card, maybe who knows how it goes, injuries and whatever. I still have a fight to get through. Like you said, I can never look past my fight ahead of me. But, I want to get on a couple more fights. And I'm 25. We missed a year because of COVID. I lost my fight, had to go through healing up from an injury. and switching camps and doing all the stuff I've had to do in my personal life. And now, almost a year later, fighting again. It's 2 years I've missed. I'll be fighting now twice in 2 years. It's rough. So I just turned 25. I need to get my ass moving. So as many fights as possible. I'm going to try to keep picking these guys off fast, get out of there unscathed, put them out, and move on to the next, man. Whoever CFFC wants me to fight after this or whoever I fight for, it doesn't matter. I'll move right through them.
Final words for Komodo Joe Tran, because you're going to be seeing him in just a couple days. Anything you have to say to him to close out?
See you in a few days, man. I hope you trained hard. I hope you worked hard for this. I'm going to smash you.
There he goes, Ben Coyle, getting ready to take his second pro fight for CFFC. It's going down at CFFC 99 in Mississippi. He will be taking the flight to my man's backyard, looking to come out with the W in his backyard. For Ben Coyle, I'm Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to mymmanews.com for all your fight news needs.